Welcome back to Briggs on Books. You know, there's so many authors out there, literally millions of authors, who are trying to finish their first work and get their book published. But you don't have to do a book. There's many ways to stay busy writing. And our next guest does it. Look at this. Tales to Terrify. That's a podcast we're going to talk about in a second. But our next guest, he writes. He's writing all the time and getting published all the time in anthologies and magazines and things like that. Welcome to our show, Will Wood. Welcome, Will.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, a lot of the people we talk to, you know, authors, of course, they spent their whole life trying to get one book out, and they did. But you're just voluminous, I guess is the word. You're always writing and always getting published someplace.
True. Yeah, and it feels really good. Most of my stuff, you have people out there that have their novels. Most of my stuff, it's all short stories so far. In fact, the last few things that I've had go out have been like the really short flash pieces, like 1,000 words or less, which
Wow.
is still a really good feeling. It's a quick fix, but it's not a novel length stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's probably what every writer dreams of at some point or other is getting that novel out.
Hmm. Now, before we go too far, I'm just going to flash some of these covers. Here's a CHM magazine, which your work has been featured in. Nature magazine. It says 1 year, 10 stories. And you have one piece in each of these, I guess.
That correct. Yeah, they're all anthologies and magazines, and I'm just one of the authors in each.
Um, First and Starlight, is that a regular publication?
I think they did up to either three or four of those, and it's the Writers of the Future contest.
Mm.
It's finalists in that, not necessarily winners, but people that were at least finalists in that. And I've got a story on those, along with a lot of other really good writers.
Yeah. Now, you were telling me before we came on the air about this podcast, Tales to Terrify. Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Tales to Terrify is great. They take stories that haven't been published previously. They take reprints. So they've got two of mine that are in reprints. Two of my favorite ones actually, and they make an audio version of them. So you get to, as a writer, you get to hear somebody else uh, reading your story. You want people to read your story, but
Yeah.
somehow it's really strange to hear just another voice reading a story that you've only mostly heard in your own head.
Now, you live somewhere in Virginia?
I do. This Shenandoah Valley
Uh-huh.
in Waynesboro, Virginia. Yeah, it's a nice little rural town. Probably, I think we're about 20,000 people in the town, and
Nice.
very nice. We
Uh,
like it.
because of our viewers, a lot of unpublished authors, I always ask some of the process questions. Where do you write? Well,
I do a little bit of writing in this room, but I almost logged on from my car because I swear I do so much writing sitting in my car. There's a couple of spots, like we have a parkway here, Blue Ridge Parkway,
mhm.
up in the mountains, and there are just so many beautiful overlooks. And there's something about the beautiful overlooks that, to me at least, says cosmic horror and makes me want to destroy the world. So.
So you're driving along, you pull over to a spot with a view, and you pop out
Yeah.
your laptop.
Yeah, exactly. There are a few of the overlooks that are really close that have picnic tables set up,
Right.
and sometimes I'll set up on those. But honestly, most of them you can drive right up to the edge and just get the laptop out. There's Wi-Fi hotspots, and just go to town. It's so much fun to find new ways to end the world.
Yeah, yeah. I find I'm going to take that as advice to me because I sit down on my computer, start writing in my little office, and next thing you know, I'm
Hmm.
doing something else and vacuuming or cleaning or looking at some TikToks or something. So get out of
Hmm.
the house. I'm going to do that, Will. I'm going to try this next
Yeah.
week. Get out of the house and write somewhere else. How fun that is. Now, do you write at the keyboard, or as you're driving, are you writing in your head and then you pull over and commit it to the keyboard?
Probably mostly the keyboard. I think I'm probably a little bit more of a pantser than a planner, so I don't. It sounds awful. I don't think a whole lot about what I'm writing ahead of time. Although I just sold another story to Nature,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure exactly when it's come out because I haven't. I just heard about it over the weekend. But that story is a story that I wrote quite a while ago, and then 5 or 6 months ago, it came to me. I just woke up one morning and I was like, "Okay, this is it. This is what to do to fix this story, or to make it what I want it to be. I'm going to send it out one more time." And
Yeah.
that's what it took. And it was
Now,
so some things percolate whether I want them
yeah,
to or not, I think, but
yeah, I bet.
mostly it's seat of the pants.
Yeah, that's kind of the next thing I was going to talk to you about is, do you sit down and you write it all at once, or are you go back, edit over and over and over, or does it usually come out complete?
It varies. I have had some stories that, like I said, that sometimes I think they percolate, and I've sat down and I've written an entire story all at once. Usually, if it's only a couple of thousand words, that's one sitting. There have been a few that have been over a weekend, but there have been some that I've worked on, I've come back to, I've gone on to other things,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've come back. It's just all over the place. I'd say for the most part, um, I'll have at least an idea of where I want to go
Mm-hmm.
and where I want to start, and so the rest of it is just that gray mist that I work my way through at the keyboard.
Now you honed your interest, I guess, watching the old monster movies.
Yes, I did. A lot of it. I remember growing up, I would my first writing experience is my we had an old bookshelf that had broken, so I took a shelf and I'm sitting in like my dad's chair, and I've got this shelf across as my desk, and I'm writing myself and my friends into Star Trek stories,
Uh,
and I'm like 8 years old or
yeah.
something, or maybe a little older, and but from there I got into watching Night Gallery and
Mm-hmm.
Space 1999
Yeah.
and those sorts of things, and it really became and from there, like the other movies, like you had mentioned, getting to see all those things, it really informed where I wound up going with my stories.
Yeah, I guess usually, I end every segment by saying, go to Amazon and order these books. But I guess for you, I should direct people to your website.
You
What?
could. A lot of my stuff is you can see it on the website what it is, and then search for it on Amazon. It's all pretty much Amazon has everything
Oh, they
that
do.
I've
Okay.
been in. There are a few things that are out of print, but for the most part, you can find most of it there.
Yeah. So if you want to, if you're interested in the science fiction or horror genre, check out William R.D. Wood. By the way, there's an Instagram there too, William R.D. Wood, and a website, William R.D. Wood. Very clever web addresses and stuff. I don't know why people make them so hard, but yours, I've already
Yeah,
memorized yours.
yeah, yeah. Good.
Hey, William, we're about out of time. I just want to give you a couple minutes to say whatever you want about to our audience about your books or anything in the world you want to talk about.
Hmm. There is a charitable anthology put out called Dark Corners of the Old Dominion. Check that out. It's all writers in Virginia, and all the proceeds go to Scares That Care, which is another a charity in the area. Other than that, I'd love to hear from readers. Every time I get feedback, it always makes me feel really good. The best compliment I ever got is I made someone cry because I wrote a sad story.
Yeah.
And when you're a horror writer, that's one of if you can scare people or make them cry, you've done your job.
You've done it. Well, one thing I really got from just looking at your website and doing a little research on you is that you really enjoy this. You really enjoy cranking these out.
I do. I really do.
Well, William, I hope you'll come back on the show again sometime soon, and as often as you like, in fact, because you're fascinating. You're a fascinating guest. And for
Thank you.
and for our viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with another author right after this.